it! I know the DJ!
Do you?
You gotta
90s baby, stand up.
I'm coming back because I'm blowing in it. Pause. I take my craft serious.
Get the hell out of here. I don't owe you shit.
Welcome to episode 102 of But I Know the DJ, a podcast discussing all things music, nightlife, business, and pop culture with the unfiltered opinions of host Snax.
Give me snacks, baby.
And DJ CammmyV.
DJ CammmyV.
What's up, baby?
No fingers today.
Fingerless.
Shout out Carbon Black. Texted me the other day. He was like, you know you're a big fan of the show when you can recite the intro. And I say it fast.
That's pretty impressive.
I've said it 102 times, which is crazy. Now that's a mouthful. I'll show you a mouthful.
Whoa.
Now, like 102, that's a lot.
Bro, I've been on this podcast for over 60 episodes now, and I still can't do the intro.
Yeah.
I did it one time, actually.
Yeah, when I was gone.
When you were
like
gone.
the one time I was gone.
The one time.
Yeah. Yeah, tough. Tough being the host, man.
It's not easy.
Not easy.
Not
But
easy.
welcome, everybody, to another show. Appreciate y'all for listening and tuning in. Again, sadly, Fingers isn't here, but he has the obligations of a man and the responsibilities of a man.
Provider.
So shout out Fingers. And before we get started, we are looking for sponsors for the show. So we do have a link in our bio for more information or to get involved or to contact us. So if you know somebody, if you have a business, if you want to support us, if you want to sponsor us and you want to just kind of get in the mix, if you want to get in bed with us, please do. We are looking for a sponsor. So please hit us up, let your friends know, and let's make something happen. But Cammy, how's everything? How's the last couple weeks been? People were loving 101.
Dude,
People were loving episode
101. People are waiting for the podcast to get back.
Yeah,
and
we are so back.
We are very much back.
So
back. Dude, just like the messages that I got, like the DMs are like, bro, you guys were going at it on this one. We're like, we had a lot of pent up aggression.
Yeah.
Had to get that nut off.
Yeah. I was just gonna make a very similar joke. We're so compatible. But wanted to pop off the show with actually a couple questions for you, just to kind of get the juices flowing. You know what I mean? I like mine girthy and veiny. Need to get the juices.
Gotta get it
flowing.
percolating.
Gotta get it going. Just quick music questions to pick your brain.
Sure.
What's a song that everyone hates but you love?
Oh, song that everyone hates.
Yeah.
But I love. Dude, that's a tough one to put me on the spot for, bro.
You like that?
Dude, I'm trying to think of I'm sure there's some Drake songs that people don't really like that I like. I don't know. Do you have one off the top of your head? Maybe you could inspire me a little bit.
I with questions like this, or like when talking about like songs that generally people just don't like, I think of like up tempo, like wedding music, super poppy, like throwback stuff. So like I think of not that it's a bad song or anything, but like if I played like Girls Just Want to Have Fun randomly, and I think people would be like, ugh, like what the fuck is this? Or like Baby Shark, or like Barbie Girl, or like
I hate that song.
like
yeah,
these like I don't think these are songs that like you might like, some people might get rowdy if like it played, but like I think generally speaking, people are like, oh, what the fuck is this? Like, oh, this song is so annoying.
Yeah. I think some of like the 80s rock songs would definitely like Shook Me All Night Long, stuff like that. Like that, honestly, that's like the shit that like
that kind of gets me going.
I hear you. Yeah, like the 80s hair band.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, I think maybe that they're so mainstream that it like bothers people. I feel like a lot of Taylor Swift stuff might fall into this category.
But we're on the spectrum of like we actually don't like it. We're on the other side. It's easier for me to say. It's easier for me to say songs that I don't like that everyone loves.
Yeah, right. True. There's random factoid here. There's only 5 rappers that have all of their albums over 2 billion streams. Only 5. Okay.
That have what is that have
where
all
of their
albums are over 2 billion?
Have over 2 billion streams. Do you think you can name all 5?
Probably not.
Think about this if you're listening. Think about this. 5 rappers.
5 rappers.
So you got to think about maybe.
You need to think about I can name one probably.
I'm sure I know the one you're thinking, and it's probably true.
I think Travis Scott might be in that.
Travis Scott is in it.
Again, because you got to think about the streaming era.
Correct.
Right? Like, to be honest, I don't think Drake, all of his albums are, I don't think
Drake is on it. Drake is actually number 1.
All right, well, there you go.
Travis is number 2.
Fuck me, I guess.
Yeah. So Drake is who I thought you were thinking of.
Yeah.
So there's 3 other rappers. We can think of it as longevity, or we can think about it as small catalog.
Right.
So it fits the bill. Right.
Is Frank Ocean a rapper?
No. Frank Ocean probably is included, but he's not considered a rapper. No.
Right. Do we think Kendrick? 2 billion streams.
Kendrick is not on this.
There you go.
Hey, doing the Super Bowl though. Who am I? I'm just a DJ.
I think XXS Tentacion maybe.
Good guess, but not.
What about Juice
WRLD is on.
There you go.
Juice
I
WRLD
was
is
close.
on. Limited catalog, huge fan base, crazy peak. Died at his peak, really.
So we got 3 down.
2 more.
2 to go.
One of these I was pretty shocked.
Really? Younger or older?
Well, define older.
Like older than Travis Scott, let's say.
Yeah, one is older, one is younger.
Okay, there you go. Like, dude, like for example, Jay-Z's got a massive catalog, and like he definitely would not be on that list.
No way Kingdom Come has more than 2 billion streams. No shot.
Maybe Kanye?
No.
Yeah, that's tough.
Dylan, what do you think? Any guesses, Dylan?
One older, one younger.
Shout out Dylan, the producer, who's also a DJ DMG, just of the youth, representing the youth.
NBA YoungBoy?
All right, turn his mic off.
No, I'm dead ass.
No, not NBA.
He's got
Youngboy.
way too much to go through.
No,
jeez.
I understand the guess. I understand. So the last 2 are Playboy Cardi.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because he has 2 projects, really, 2 or 3 projects, and
Yep.
they're all in the streaming era, and he has an insane fan base.
How about Nas?
Nah, yeah. ASAP Rocky
Really?
is number 5.
That's a little surprising.
That's
a little surprising.
I was surprised by that. I was very, very surprised by that.
Yeah.
And then let's do this, right? Ready? Drake, super Mr. Mainstream, Mr. Stream, has tons of features, has amazing features, iconic features. What are the 3 most streamed features that he has?
Songs that he's on that's not his catalog.
That he is featured in. What are the 3 most streamed songs?
Jeez, dude.
We might need you again.
Sicko
Dylan, think
Mode
about
at
it.
number 1.
Sicko Mode at number 1 has like over 2.5 billion.
I
streams.
think that's like got to be one of the most streamed songs of all time. Period.
Probably one of the most streamed rap songs, probably for sure.
Let me think about it.
And that song came out 2018.
Yeah, 2018.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Songs that he's on. I'm trying to think of like other big name artists.
Think of the big names. Don't overthink this. Think of the big names.
Yeah.
Then think of the song that he has with them.
Do you think Fucking Problems is on there?
No. Bigger.
Bigger name than that. Okay.
Because the big name in that is Kendrick.
Right.
Not Forever.
That actually was a good guess. I just think the timeline doesn't make too much sense.
Wait, what was the first one?
First one was Sicko Mode.
Came out before or after Sicko Mode?
One was around the same time. The other one was before, just a couple of years before. Think of some of the biggest artists in the world, and then think of the songs that Drake has with them. Mia's one. Thank you.
That's a great one.
Mia with Bad Bunny is number 3. Now we're looking for number 2.
Number 2.
That's what I'm saying. Think bigger.
Yeah.
Like think bigger than Kendrick. Think big. Like think pop.
Yeah, I know.
There's like what, like when you hear it, you're gonna be like, how did I not think of this?
Dude, thinking pop. It's probably some shit that he sings on.
It's Drake. He sing raps on it. Like, oh, you're gonna kick yourself in the fucking ass when you
Do I
hear
play it? Do I play it?
Bro, yes, dude. It's a certified banger. That's why it's one of his most streamed songs ever.
Nah, what do you got?
Dude, you want me to play it or you want me to say it?
Just play it so I can cry.
Hold on, let me get. I'm in the wrong crate. Hold on, dude. This when you hear the first note, you're gonna be like, "Fuck."
You're not even plugged in, John.
Am I? Oh, I'm not. Oh my God, put it in. I'm just gonna say it. It is "Work" by Rihanna.
God damn it, dude. God damn it. Yeah, god damn it.
Yeah, crazy that you didn't think about that, right?
No, yeah.
Hold on. Trying to plug this sucker in. It has like 1.5 billion or something like that. But single mode is like by far the highest. So
Yeah.
just some stats, some factoids to hit y'all with. As we let me play this joint actually. Put that fucking shit.
God damn.
That like what? That's that bass line is crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of music, speaking of headliners, Fyre Festival. Fyre Festival.
Who's going? Did you get the invite?
I might have to get the media pass for that. For those who don't know, Fyre Fest was a disaster festival back in 2017 that had multiple lawsuits and then multiple like documentaries about it.
Bro, you're young enough to remember this.
Thank you for saying that.
And I think most of our listeners are too.
Yeah.
Do you remember being in college?
Yes.
And seeing all the
Yes.
Instagram,
Yes.
all the...
I was very much there.
Bro,
Yes.
I remember like it was yesterday
Yeah.
being like, bro, what the fuck is
Yeah.
this festival?
Yeah.
On the island of Pablo Escobar.
Yeah. So for those who weren't there, basically this guy, Billy McFarland, he looks like what his name sounds like.
That's valid.
Billy McFarland, this random, I think he was a tech guy, right? He had some money.
He was
tech
like
guy,
yeah.
right? And was like, I want to make the sickest. Again, this is when the influencer was really just coming into like as we know them now. Want to create this huge, crazy music festival with all these influencers and the crazy headliners, and it's going to be off of this fucking deserted island owned by Pablo Escobar. It's going to be 5-star everything, the VIPs, blah, 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 blah. From what I read and researched, because I do so much of it, $12,000 was the most expensive ticket, like the full VIP experience, 5-star experience, and then obviously a lot of these
It was like
influencers
a cabana.
Cabana Life, 5-star this.
You had to party on the yacht.
And he got a bunch. I don't know how he did it, but again, this is the power of marketing, and this is the power of promoting. Is when you get the right people involved and you get the right influencers involved. Like he had like Emily
Ratajkowski.
Does that how you say her name?
Yeah.
She's so hot. Emily, what's her face, was promoting it. A bunch of like people like
Kendall Jenner.
Kendall Jenner. Like he shot this crazy.
Hailey Bieber.
Yeah, he shot this crazy like promo video of like all these girls on this boat and
they're on the beach with the pigs.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm sold. And so I remember the headline was supposed to be like Major Lazer and Blink 182 and all this shit, and it's gonna be sick.
Yeah,
it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, the lineup looked cool.
And then Ja Rule. Where is Ja? Ja Rule gets on it as one of its like lead like he was on, like I guess he put some money in. And,
yeah, he was like a lead investor, but also like
kind of a face of it, like a celebrity face.
Yeah.
That should have been red flag number one, to be honest. But
50 Cent had a field day with that one.
Oh my God. So what ends up happening is Fyre Fest happens, people show up to this island, and the island, like infrastructurally, I don't think that's a word, but you know what I'm saying, wasn't ready. They didn't have the stages ready.
No stages.
The accommodations weren't ready. The like the 5-star
cabanas.
The cabanas were like
tents.
Hurricane like relief tents.
Yeah,
and shit.
They were like medic tents.
Yeah, medic tent. Like they were crazy.
Yeah, sleeping bags.
And then there's the famous Twitter post of like one of the guests showing like what their meal accommodation, and it was literally like a styrofoam plate, like the closing plate. That
it was a Dixie plate,
a takeout plate with wheat bread, American cheese, like 2 slices of American cheese, and like some lettuce.
Yeah, that was it.
Not even toasted.
Not even toasted.
Not even toasted.
They didn't have a toaster on the island.
And he takes the plate, and it went super viral. And he's like, "This is the 5-star VIP experience that we get at Fyre Fest. And there's like fucking gusts of wind and weather, and like the festival never even happens. None of the headliners show up.
Nothing happened. Yeah.
I think headliners were like, I think Major League was like, we never signed whatever. Like they just promoted it.
They promoted it,
Yeah.
and they didn't even pay anybody either.
Yeah, they didn't pay anybody. So now these guests are just stranded. And these are, again, VIP LA influencers that like, hey.
They got duped.
That have never been to a third world country, that have never been in the hood. They don't know what struggle is like. And they're just thrown in this island.
They're eating ham and not even ham. They're eating cheese
They're
sandwiches.
eating what I ate at summer camp when I was 8 years old. And you know what? I loved it.
It was great.
Fyre Fest 2 is happening, says Billy McFarland. How the founder is making...
He went to prison. You forgot.
Oh, yeah, and he went to
prison.
Yeah. Million lawsuits. Ja Rule was nowhere to be found. Again. 50 Cent had a field day. Billy McFarland goes to jail. There's a Netflix documentary. I remember watching the Netflix documentary.
Dude, it's incredible.
And being like, yo, this shit is fucked up. Fyre Fest 2 is happening, says Billy McFarland. How the founder is making a bold attempt at redemption after the 2017 disaster. After multiple lawsuits, a prison sentence, and 2 documentaries, the disgraced founder remains optimistic about a new version of the event. And so basically, already debt is set. Everybody, mark your calendars. April 25th to the 28th, 2025 on a private island.
Ado, we going?
Off the coast of Mexico.
We got it, baby. We're going. Ado's paying for the tickets.
I'm headlining. What are you talking about? Of course I'm going.
Yeah, he was. You remember?
When?
There was a rumor. I know we shouldn't be dragging the name.
Oh,
but,
did you text me? I'm on D&D. Hold on, let me see this.
Yep. All right, Ado, put it in the get us some media passes. Let's go.
So,
yeah.
Actually, now that you say this, I do remember
this.
We were trying to get Billy McFarland on the pod.
It would have been like right as soon as he got out of prison too, right?
Yeah, but he didn't have the money to pay us.
He needed the good publicity
to get on the show.
Yeah.
So it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So despite the catastrophic failure of the first festival in 2017, which led to multiple lawsuits, the disgraced founder is optimistic of the new event, citing new management. McFarland insists that this time things will be different. I've said that a couple of things to a couple of people.
How many times have you said that? Come on.
Although there are currently no confirmed performers except for DJ Snax or location, not surprisingly, many are wondering whether history is doomed to repeat itself. Here's everything you need to know. As we've already explained in the past, the costly aftermath. But how is it moving forward? What is the vision? A new production company, which he has not yet named, obviously, has reportedly bought a 51% stake in the festival's parent company, Fyre Media. For my Shark Tank watchers, you know 51% means that they own majority of the company. So Billy McFarland is already putting his ass out. He knows. And will be responsible for the festival's finances and operations. McFarland claims to be keeping himself away from operational aspects. Thank fucking God. But he's promised a mix of music, extreme sports, and new experiences, including karate, pit fighting, and comedy. What is pit fighting?
We should get some cockfighting there.
Yeah. Quote, we haven't booked any talent for Fyre 2, end quote, he told Today, which Today is in the media outlet. It's not going to be just music. For example, Karate Combat, we're in talks with them to set up a pit to have like live fights at Fyre Festival 2. Sounds pretty illegal.
Sounds like some Kimbo Slice activities going on.
R.I.P. He didn't confirm the name of the island. Shocker. It's probably fucking George's Island off of the Boston Harbor.
I was going to say something crazy.
What are you
Epstein Island.
Too soon?
Yeah, too soon.
But share that the festival will rely on existing infrastructure for housing, eateries, and restrooms. The unnamed production company will handle logistics. That sounds very promising. Heath Miller, an owner of a resort on the Honduran island of Utila, who has been talking to McFarland about hosting a festival in Honduras. That would be sick. I would be there. Shout out my cousins. I'll be there. Described the production company as an independent mid-sized festival producer to the Wall Street Journal. McFarland has hinted about a festival reboot as early as December 2022 and is now about to pop off. So we are very optimistic. I mean, who do you get to headline at this point? Like, who? 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine, Dylan says. That would be kind of fire. That would be kind of lit. But all good luck to Billy McFarland.
Yeah, I mean,
I wish you well,
bro.
And
just why are we shooting for the moon? We're like, we're gonna do it bigger than last time. It's like, bro, having an event period will be better than what happened last time.
He really wants to make this festival happen,
dude.
You know, and I respect.
So what do we? What I respect it. I respect trying to right your wrongs, bro. Cut your losses, man. Just cut them. This was an uphill battle the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, what is going to make you confident this is going to happen this time?
But you know what,
bro? He should just do like one. He should promote a night at a club. Start there.
Right.
Start there. Has he thrown any other events in his career?
It doesn't matter. He is Billy McFarland of Fyre Festival.
Bro,
he has the influencers.
That just goes to show you how marketing, media guys, and influencers, like you could sell fucking shit. You could sell shit to people, and they will buy it.
Yeah. No, 100%.
That's just the power of like the media.
Yeah, for sure.
Bro, so what do we have? We have a name.
Kind of.
We have a date.
We don't know the name of the production company that's putting it on.
No, but we just have the name of the festival. We have a name and we have a date. And anything else in concrete?
Nothing. But tickets are on sale. So if you do want to go.
Dude, I mean, good luck.
Yeah.
Truthfully,
but
good
festivals
luck.
in general, there's something like, I think I read something that, and you can just kind of see it by the numbers. Tomorrowland, I think, is the biggest music festival in the world. Mm-hmm. And they've been killing it, growing every year, doing amazing. I mean, the EDM world, I didn't think it could get bigger, it could grow, and it's growing very fast. Which is crazy because I think musically it can be kind of minimal, but maybe that's what's so great about it, right? It's accessible in that sense, and a lot of people can get into it, and it's a vibe and all that.
Right.
And right now, the wave has been kind of like small room to medium room house.
Right.
Which is interesting because they're still having that translate at 100,000 person crowd at Tomorrowland.
Tomorrowland and stuff like that, EDC.
But at the same time, even on top of that, is that crowd of people will pay for an experience like that.
Sure, but like they also, again, they're used to spending money to go stay in a hostel for like 5 days and you don't shower.
Right, and that's like the vibe. Yeah.
And it's like you're trying to take that experience and make it like a premium experience where it's an that's a crazy part about this, Snax. It's an exclusive experience for something that shouldn't be exclusive. You're trying to put a price tag to like make it exclusive for like a large format thing, and I just don't see that working. I don't. I hope I'm wrong. Good luck to the guy, honestly, because I hope I'm wrong. But bro, I just think the math ain't mathing on this one here.
On the other side, we have Coachella, which is now struggling to get a headliner right now. Coachella is, I think, as far as the U.S. is concerned, let me think about this for a second, but definitely one of the most like renowned music festivals in the States. You can think of like a Lollapalooza, Bonnaroo, but I don't think they're on the same level.
No, Coachella is like...
I think Coachella might be the one for the States.
Yeah, for sure.
Bloomberg headline states, Coachella has become a victim of its own success. Kendrick Lamar and Rihanna passed on headlining Coachella in 2025. The festival is still looking for a big name to recover from a couple down years. So they've been struggling. This article reads, for kids growing up in Los Angeles, attending Coachella is a rite of passage. The cool kids got to go in high school, while those of us who worked in high school newspaper didn't make it until college. But by 2011, my first year at the festival, the writer states, Coachella had become the single most important music festival in North America. And people have seen the Hologram by Tupac, some of the first place many Americans experience kind of K-pop or Latin music. You know, they had some like really big headliners. Think like maybe J Balvin did one. Did Bad Bunny do one? Chris?
Don't know.
I think it's J Balvin, right? Yeah. But really tough with kind of the balance of pop, EDM, and like kind of the crowd, because Coachella has become more of a cultural thing of like people just showing up to show up and not really about the music. Right. Where it's like people want to go just to get the outfit.
You know what it is? It's like it's like the Kentucky Derby. It's like going to the Kentucky Derby. You think any of those celebrities really care about the horse races? Right. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
They go, they have their carpet moment. You know, that's Coachella.
For the record, apparently Bad Bunny did a Coachella set in 2023.
Yes, thank you. And did J Balvin as well? Did I completely lie?
Oh, I don't think it was. I don't know.
Okay. Thank you, EJ. The festival has suffered through a tough stretch, shutting down during the pandemic, and then failing to sell out the last 2 years in a row. One of the concert promoters who started the event in 1999 wanted to book some A-list acts to ensure that they wouldn't continue that trend in the third year, and they wanted Kendrick Lamar and Rihanna. Kendrick Lamar, as we mentioned in the last show, hot,
So up.
Super Bowl,
Doing the Super Bowl.
and then Rihanna hasn't dropped an album in
But look, so
8 years?
and that's the point I want to break out to. Think about who was a headline last year. Who did we talk about last year?
Who was that?
Frank Ocean.
Frank Ocean was a headliner last year? Oh, yeah. And then he had like a weird ass set. Yeah, that's
And it
right.
was crazy.
Right, that's right.
But when's the last time he dropped a project?
Right.
So it's like, who are you going to book? Like, you gotta book accordingly. If you're trying to sell out, you gotta have like, unfortunately, unless it's like a once in a generational talent, you know, you're gonna have to book someone that actually is like out here putting out music, and it's gonna get asses in seats.
It says, fans expect the festival to offer them an experience they can't find anywhere else, where Lollapalooza, as I mentioned earlier, can get away with booking the same act as many other festivals, but Coachella can't because it's too big. Every time they drop that lineup, people are talking. People are like, oh, shit. You know, it's a big deal. Like, booking Frank Ocean, in a sense, was a big deal
Yeah, for sure.
until he kind of blew it, right?
Yeah. I know we talked about it last year. Like, part of it, there were like technical difficulties, and part of it was like the performance was just not great.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think this becomes very transferable to nightlife. People showing up to certain venues just to say that they're there, just to dress up and be there because it might be a hot spot. It might be just a name, but not really about the music or not, you know, exactly what you're saying about the Kentucky Derby, right? It's just to say that you're there. So then maybe we have a club that is busy, but are they engaged? Are they there for the experience? Are they really listening to the DJ? Does the DJ matter?
Well, you know, we see this all the time, especially in Boston with newer venues. We see a lot of new venues pop up. And usually within that first month, usually the first year, you have that sweetheart period. You have that honeymoon period when opening up a venue. People are going. There's a lot of like because it's new. It's a new experience. You know, usually there's a lot of like money behind it. So there's a lot of photo op moments for people to go in and like, you know, Instagrammable moments when you walk in these venues. As we've seen as of recently with some of these newer venues that have opened up, you know, that honeymoon phase is getting smaller and smaller. And ultimately what I think is that the music, because again, we're talking about nightlife venues, the music isn't keeping people there. I think for the long haul of a venue to like exist and be successful, part of it is that atmosphere and part of it is definitely the music. You know, people are going to go and be like, oh, okay, like, you know, I'm going to try it out for the first time because I think it's new. I think it's cool. Definitely want to show people I'm here. But like, what is going to keep people going?
Right.
And I think part of that is like, you know, the musical experience and having a good time with your friends. You know, if it's some acts that, you know, again, not to name names, but I've seen like some other venues where they're booking like really big DJs that were big about like 10 years ago, and they're spending a ton of money on that. But again, like they're not doing so hot now. And it's like, okay, why? Like you got to really like peel back the books and look and be like, okay, like what's keeping people here? Like the venue can only be like new and cool for a certain amount of time, and what's going to keep drawing people back in?
Yeah, and so do you think that it's the genre of music that the venue is welcoming or trying to push, or do you think it's the DJs that they're choosing? Like, what do you think makes that distinction between the music and what's keeping people there?
I don't think so. Again, like in past conversations, we've talked about oversaturation, right? And I feel like in certain genres of music and certain venues have oversaturated, you know, talent. With that being said, I think it's more so. It's less about the music, because there's really successful nights in the city that have the same or same music, right? Same kind of music. But what's keeping those nights successful, I think, are more so like the caterers of that sound, like the DJs, essentially. it's all good and well to like have like advertise like one specific genre, like, hey, this is what you're coming to listen to when you come to this venue. But again, if it's not better than venue A that is consistently doing well and bringing people in because the talent is really good, like they have a different spin on it, like what's really going to keep people coming in through the doors if it's not stacking up, if it's the same playing field, like, and this one's significantly better, even though it's in the same genre. That's what I think. That's at the end of the day. That's
I see a lot of TikToks about like nightlife and stuff, and I see a lot of these people like interviewing patrons maybe outside of a bar or venue, and they're like, why is nightlife so bad, or why does it suck to go out? And a lot of the common answers I see is like, there's nowhere to go is a common one, and then it's just not fun. The very general statements by these like dumbass patrons and stuff.
of course.
But to me, I'm like, again, just speaking on our own city, Boston. I know we have listeners from all over. Shout out to y'all. We have tons of venues. We have bars. We have clubs. We have a couple lounges. I wish we had a couple more.
Mm-hmm.
Wish we had some more rooftops, but we have a couple. So when I hear people talk about Boston, like, oh, there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to party. How much of it is in the responsibility of the patron? How much of it is on the responsibility of the promoter? How much of it is on the responsibility of the DJ?
Mm-hmm.
Of providing these spaces and making nightlife fun? What are the variables that might push certain patrons to be like, nightlife isn't fun. I don't know where to go. Everywhere I go, I don't have a good time.
Right.
Like, what is it? Oh, hot mic?
Yeah, hot mic over here.
Oh, Johnny.
I've heard this voice. It might be God. It might be Ado. Ado, the Podfather. How we doing, brother?
Morgan Freeman.
Good, guys. Good. This conversation triggered some thoughts.
I'm sure.
Oh, I love it.
So I think there's a lot to distill here, right? Because I think there's certainly a lot of arguments you can make on, yes, the curator being the DJ, having a lot of responsibility, also the patron understanding the situation of venues that they're going to. But I also like to think about, like, okay, let's take a step back. Coming out of COVID, the consumer or the Patreon, their feelings and how they actually get entertained has completely changed, right? The desire to go out, spend money, to listen to music and drink, right, at the cost of which a venue owner has to price certain things to make money, right? And everything within that infrastructure of running a night, from DJs, staff, promoters, and you name it, right, has to be built into that system to work.
Right.
That cost is still so high during a time period in when they came out of COVID, where people are like, hey, I can just buy a bottle at home.
Yeah.
I could buy a beer at home.
Yeah.
Right? I can stream.
We created those experiences.
Let's talk about, like, now specifically Gen Z and millennials.
Yeah.
They came out and basically said, I don't have to go pay, $40 to go see Snax or Cammy, right? I want to if I'm an avid, fan of going out, right? And I want to see that live experience, but you can literally do that at home. There's people that are being entertained, through these streamers for hours,
yeah.
8 hours at a time.
And right now, like the YouTube DJ set at your apartment is like huge.
It's the same thing, almost,
and
right?
People are just vibing and having some
like
wine.
If I was a DJ in this era, right, I would obviously combine the IRL and being there live, but I would also be doing YouTube. I would find some way to monetize and get people to watch me for 8 hours during the time periods where I couldn't actually DJ when venues weren't open.
I've thought about streaming again, and just like, because I DJ full time, and I'm like, well, during the day I should just stream and like get the people that are in the streaming world and to fuck with me, and like then at night, like I've definitely thought about it.
Yeah.
For this exact reason.
100%. I honestly thought that streaming is going to be the biggest next wave for nightlife. Like, if you're not streaming in nightlife in the next 3 years, you're going to be behind. 100%.
Fuck.
I firmly
I'm gonna have to
believe
get
it.
back on
There's a lot of
I might get back on it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that you have to like figure out legality wise and process wise for a venue. But I honestly do believe that that's going to be the wave. There's a ton of opportunities for venues, right? Like just for capacity purposes.
Yeah.
You're unlimited in terms of capacity, right?
And
the extension of reach of like, hey, I'm away this weekend, but my friends are going out. I can still be part of that experience with you, right? Online.
I mean, it becomes similar and mirrors consumer goods.
Yeah, 100%.
Brick and mortar versus just selling online.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? Completely different, business models, which then goes back to, again, the question of like, why specifically for Boston, why do certain venues work versus others, right? Like,
Right.
I think, utilizing your space and understanding your space, right,
Yeah.
for a lounge versus a big club, how do you make the experience more immersive, right? Like, let me name drop one person that I think does a really good job with their parties. Shout out to Yellow Cup, right?
Yes.
Yellow Cup weekend.
Yellow Cup does a great job. Shout out to Yellow Cup.
Yeah, shout
I've
out to
done it
Wale.
twice.
Yeah.
Sick.
Big shout out to Wale.
I say to myself, right, when I think about how they actually curate the experience, they look at every venue before they actually commit to a space and they say, how am I going to actually utilize every inch of the venue, right? Most curators of events don't do that.
Right.
They go to a venue and say, oh, this place holds 600 people.
Right.
I'm going to make $30 per head, right? So like that's like the difference in terms of actually thinking about curating
And I do
events.
want to break down this a little bit for
Yeah.
those who've never gone to Yellow Cup. Please go to Yellow Cup. They're
Big time, yeah.
most of their stuff is all in and around New England. But for example, the first event I did with them was at Polar Park, which is a baseball stadium in Worcester.
Yep.
And there's this I don't even know what to call it's not a VIP part of the park, but it's a part of the park that like there's no seating. It's just a big space. Could probably hold. That party held probably
A lot of people.
A lot.
I don't want to put a number to
over
it, but yeah.
over
yeah.
1,000 people.
Yeah, 100%.
But it was just a very unique, long, narrow space, wide space, and they had, a section for like games, like cornhole. They had some swings that they brought in. They had photo opportunities, and then the bar was this way, and then they had the VIP and over like. To your point, every inch of that space was utilized for an experience.
100%.
And and that's something that they've done consistently, as you mentioned, and why a lot of the ladies like to go because it's cute and I can get these photos and they have like a mascot that walks
It's a
around for
character,
the photos.
right?
It's a character.
Bro,
so
that's
like
unbelievable.
and then the Yellow Cup concept, like the way they do their drinks is unique and like so it's like you have multiple reasons to go.
It's
100%.
immersive.
And I'm like, and I remember they told me, and I'm like, fucking Worcester. I'm from Boston. It's like an hour from Worcester. So I'm like, ugh, okay. I'm excited to work with these people. Like, I'm obviously going to do it, but I'm like, who's going to go to Worcester? People came from Rhode Island.
From wherever.
People came from Boston. People came from
Yeah.
Connecticut. People came from It was crazy. So it goes to show how great.
100%. And the last thing I'll say, and sorry to hijack the
No,
show,
no,
right?
we love your insight.
Is I quickly, no, it's the Boys' podcast, but I quickly shifted my mind as I started to obviously, grow in the space to, I try to align a lot of other businesses with what we do. Because there's a ton of inspirations, right? Storytelling, right? And why the business of storytelling has always been successful, movies and so forth, whether you see them in a movie theater or you like draw this emotional connections to characters, right? Is the same way that event producers have to think about their events, right? Going back to Yellow Cup is when you have an event that's tied in with a story and a character, right? It builds an emotional connection. What Wale has done a really good job of, he makes his attendees be part of the event, right? So everything from his, pre and post and, the character of the Yellow Cup himself, right? Like it's all built
He has
into
the
the
live
event.
photo feed
Exactly.
on the LED screen. So
That's
sometimes it's like the DJ logo, and then other times it's just the photos that have been taken 10
Correct.
minutes ago. And people are I remember I was DJing, and people keep pointing. And I'm like, what the fuck are they pointing? And I look
Yeah.
up, and it's their photos of themselves.
Yeah.
And
so
that's like
sick.
cute, and then so I got to make sure I dress up,
Yeah.
because people are gonna be seeing me, and I'm taking these
100%.
pictures, like
And within that infrastructure, now you have so many actual business aspects that you can actually like sustainably grow, right? Now you're talking about sponsorship dollars, right? Because now you have a story and you have
Right.
actual things that you've built in there that a sponsor wants to immerse themselves with,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Different activation points. Then you're also talking about obviously, increasing the ticket price, right? Because now the consumer feels like, okay, it's worth going there
I'm
and
getting a
spending
lot
X,
out
Y,
of
Z
it.
amount of
I'm
dollars.
getting the bang for my buck
Exactly,
rather than just
right?
paying $40 and I show up and
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I think that's the difference between sustainability in nightlife in the future versus what nightlife once was.
Right.
And that just shows you what it requires to be
Yeah.
successful. Is my opinion.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Thank you for
Thanks,
the insight,
John.
Ado, the pod
That's my
father.
TED
Thank
Talk.
you. Love it.
this guy.
What a guy. Jesus.
I love that guy.
And yeah, I mean, a lot of high level info there. And
Dude, break out your
break out
pen
the
and paper.
notepads. Huh?
Yeah.
How about you press rewind real quick? How about we run this back, get the views up?
We'll take a break.
Another discussion we had actually 2 weeks ago off the show, getting real into the DJ stuff. So DJs, listen up. Was the open format DJ versus the specialist, right? So we're open format guys. So we are the jack of all trades, master of none in a lot of senses, right?
So what some of the producers would say.
What some people would say. Versus being maybe a house DJ, a tech house DJ. I only DJ tech house. Okay, so I'm gonna be the baddest tech house DJ.
I'm the tech house guy.
You know what I mean? Or the Afrobeats guy, or the R&B guy, or the Latin guy, whatever it is.
Insert
I'm the
genre
this
here, guy.
isn't an attack on house DJs. It can be, but it's not. Let's say you're a Latin DJ. Let's say you're a Latin DJ, right?
Yeah.
Cool, right? It comes with two different things, right? One is the specialty, right? So you can become that guy or girl, but don't be surprised when the bookings are limited, right?
Right.
Then there's the question of, so one particular person said, "Oh, I don't like open format DJs," and I said, "Why?" And they're like, "Well, you don't specialize in anything," and I said, "Who the fuck said that?" Because to me, I think I specialize in multiple genres.
specialize in every-
Not every genre.
I know, I know,
specialize
I know.
in multiple genres,
Right.
and that's why I kick so much ass. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm me, and that's why I think I'm so adorable and great. To master one genre is not impressive to me, right? To be just a jump shooter is not that impressive. To be a jump shooter and a slasher and a defender, now you're an all-star, right?
Right.
So,
Bro, I look at it like I watch a lot of UFC.
yeah,
Look at it like mixed martial arts. Back in the day, the Wild West of the UFC, it was which martial art is the best.
Right.
You got your wrestler
Right.
versus karate guy versus
Yep.
sumo guy. Fast forward to today.
got to have your submissions.
If you're
gotta be
not
able to take
well-rounded,
down.
you're going to get absolutely
Right.
torched.
Right.
You're going to get torched.
Right, absolutely. And so, but there's some times where, and then Ado actually said, well, when you're the specialist, that's when you can get more money, right? Because then there's, as open format guys, like we're jumping around and
Right.
we're getting this gig and this gig, trying to fill out the schedule, and just we're working guys, and sometimes like if you're David Guetta, you're a specialist. David Guetta's not playing hip hop. He doesn't want to play.
Oh, God, no. They're not. No one's
Whatever.
booking David Guetta for
Yeah.
a Latin night.
Yeah, because he's the specialist at really awesome big room sing along dance music,
Yeah,
and he gets paid a lot of fucking money to do that, right?
For sure.
The specialist.
for sure.
So Ada was like, but when you're the specialist, even transferable to an office sense, right? The reason why you become the CFO is because you are the best fit for finances and to oversee the budgets and all that stuff. Correct, 100%. And I agreed with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, but however, it comes with the name. You are the best at it. Is why and David Guetta is the best at that, right? Like, fucking Alex Sensation is the best at that in the Latin world, and that's why DJ Loni is the best at that because in the Latin world. But so if you're not the best at it and you're a specialist, what do you get? Where do you go?
I mean,
Right.
you can't charge the 1A price if you're not the best at it.
Right.
How many events
And so
can you get booked for?
So and there can only be so many specialists,
Right.
Or so many of the best that are getting the top tier money, right? So you're not. So let's say you're not, right? And then there is again, let's say the Latin event, right? Let's say the Latin DJ. So you're a Latin DJ and you are the best at, that is your thing. You fucking kill it. Cool. But then there's open format DJ X, who is pretty good at doing Latin sets and does them here and there. One day your residency is like, you know what, you do great, we love you, but we just want to try this guy out 1 week just to shake shit up. Happens all the time. Happens all the time in nightlife.
All the time, bro. All the time.
That guy comes in, gets his nut, does a great job because he's capable of doing it, and then leaves. And they're like, well, he actually does pretty good. So, maybe you guys can go back and forth every 2 weeks. And now you're like, whoa. But now, he's eating off of my thing, and there's only 3 other Latin nights in the city. But open format guy is like, I just need 2 Latin nights a month, and I'm good.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Because guess what? On the other 2 nights, I have one hip-hop one. I got one Afrobeat dancehall one.
Right. So that was the back and forth that we had. I was like, and that's why we've harped from the beginning of the show of open format, content is king, be as well versed of a DJ as possible. If DJing as much as possible is what you want to do. Now, there's some genres, let's go back to house, dance music, where having 1 or 2 shows a month is normal. You don't have to be in the clubs every week.
Right.
And you're probably getting a little bit more money. But my argument to that is the caveat is that you probably have to produce your own music as well to be able to get to that level.
Absolutely.
So then are you the specialist DJ or the specialist producer?
Yeah.
Right? That was my argument on that.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting conversation that we had that for those listening, I want you to think about. At the end of the day, there's all kinds of DJs. There's all kinds of lanes. We have our wedding DJs, radio DJs, club DJs.
I think the thing about open format guys, we just have a different approach as opposed to the specialists. And we talked about this off air earlier.
Yeah.
Again, there's certain genres, let's just say Afrobeats, for example, right?
Yep.
And again, each culture has a different way of how you play the music.
Right.
But we're big connect the dots guys. Mm-hmm. And when we get called in on that, once a month I come in and I do this party, I'm playing the right music because I know it's going to hit, but I'm just creating a different experience with just how I play the music. Mm-hmm. And that's how open format guys and girls get those gigs, get those bookings, because I think it's the approach and the way that we do it. We're big connect the dots people. Mm-hmm. And again, sometimes in certain cultures, certain musics, certain genres, it's you're there to play the records again. So.
And then it bears the question when it comes to specialists, open format guys, master of nones, jack of all trades, of how much money you charge, and how much you're worth, right? Because
you charge money.
I just started getting paid last year.
You guys, you getting paid?
I just been just doing it for the love of the game,
bro. That's crazy. I'm still getting drink tickets.
At least you get drink tickets. Then it's the question of, for DJs, how much you get paid. Things are changing, for better or for worse. We talked about DJs throwing their own parties, so now it's not really a matter of how much you get paid. You're taking the door, right? But then again, if you're just one of 10 DJs that I can kind of rotate around or whatever, if they're all accepting 300, who's to say that you shouldn't accept 300, right? But then if you're the baddest DJ out of the group and we need you, maybe you can start doing 350, 400, 5, right?
Again, it comes down to whoever is hosting the night. Are they contacting you, or are you reaching out to them for the booking? Do you need the booking, or do they need you?
Yeah. And then so for sure. And then it's.
Can we turn the AC on here? I'm just wearing a long sleeve shirt.
And then I know some DJs, especially travel guys, that will charge more. They want the flight, they want the hotel, and big money for the gig, right? And so they hold themselves. They're like, hey, I don't want anything less than 1,000. Mm-hmm. Cool, but how valuable or how worth that 1,000 are you, right? And that's the thing about DJing. And that's the thing about art. It's so objective. Or subjective, excuse me. It's so subjective.
Yeah, it is.
That at the end of the day, the person in booking is the one who's deciding if you're worth it or not. You know what I mean? And you might have to pitch and you might have to do all this stuff, connections, whatever. But that's the really tough part about art.
Well, again, and that's why, Jason's gonna love this one. You know, for a long time on Facebook, people were talking about DJ union,
DJ unions. Yeah.
DJ unions.
Yeah.
Union worker.
But
You got to set the whatever the market value. You know, again, you can say however much worth you think you are. You could preach that till the cows come home. That's
Yeah.
totally fine. But it's to the point where there's a happy medium because the rest of the market also dictates how much you should get paid, which for better or for worse. If you can justify the money and the person that wants to book you, be like, oh, dude, no brainer. I'll give this guy $1,500 to do this night. Good on you.
Yeah.
But again, like, for DJs that are more grounded in the real world, that are trying to do as many events as possible and get paid a fair wage for it, again, you're a victim of what the market dictates. And, you know, again, there's certain different markets have different ranges for what, like, top tier guys, middle tier guys, young beginner DJs are getting paid. I mean, if you're a young beginner DJ and you're like, yo, I want $1,500 to go do this night, like, people are going to look at you like you're crazy. You may think you're worth that amount of money, and okay, maybe one out of like 30 nights you get that gig. You know what I mean? How sustainable is that?
Yeah, and we know like some of like the viral DJs,
Of course,
and guys who are crazy on social media, or they blew up on this thing. They have a song, they whatever, and they can get that money from someone because, you know, a promoter might be like, oh shit, they have a big name, they're hot right now, like they can bring out people. And
less work
whatever.
for me if I just pay him to do it.
You know. So it's possible, and it is possible, but what does it require? What does it come with? What do you need to do it?
Right.
And to be realistic, right? Like, again, if you're the one reaching out to people and being like, yeah, I asked you, you weren't looking, you have no idea who I am, but by the way, I want 1,000, that's going to be a little tough.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, but
if you can get it, great, but I
Yeah.
just don't see that being successful in, like, long-term wise.
Yeah.
I just don't see that being sustainable.
Yeah, and it's hard, the DJ union thing, like, it's hard for people to unionize when, like, we all are coming at each other.
Yeah,
We're
of
all
course.
coming from each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is why DJ unions never really happened.
Yeah, all the DJs, every single DJ gets along great on Facebook. We've seen that.
I've said this before. Every DJ thinks they deserve every gig. Every DJ thinks they deserve more.
At the highest price.
And at the highest price. But the fact of the matter is like, there's opportunity cost. And
say it all the time.
The whole exposure experience thing, it's kind of a joke and it's kind of become a meme in the DJ world, but it is true. Depending on where you are in your career and kind of what happens. Like, there's people that have pigeonholed themselves in specific categories or in specific venue types or in specific party types where they become a specific type of DJ.
Right.
But what happens when that party type doesn't exist anymore? What happens when that style of DJing isn't hot anymore?
Changing ownership.
Changing ownership.
Change
The
your branding.
venue goes down. Like, your branding isn't cool anymore. Like, the way you DJ isn't cool anymore. You know, there's this rise of over the last few years, the rise of Latin music.
Yep.
A lot of DJs who don't know anything about Latin music know how to DJ Latin music, so now they're not going to be able to get booked for Latin gigs. Now we have the rise of
Their Latin crate is just gasolina.
yeah, and then we have the rise of Afrobeats, you know, and then
Yeah.
now there's people that don't know how to anything about African music or how to work that crowd. I think the next wave is going to be Brazilian funk.
Oh,
And-
bro, it's here.
No, but it's not all the way there.
No, but
it's going to happen.
No, I completely agree with you.
In the next
bro,
2 years.
Those nights are insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah,
And they're
but
only
when they
getting bigger.
become mainstream, like when they
Where they're
become like
taking over
staple nights.
Friday,
Yeah,
Saturdays
exactly,
at
right.
like the big
Yeah,
venues.
right.
Yeah.
So if you don't know anything about that, you can't get booked for it then.
Bro.
You know what I mean? So these are examples of how the times can change, how nightlife can evolve, and these people that are like, oh, well, you know, especially in Boston, I've seen it where they're like, well, I'm just a big room dance guy and I'm killing it there and whatever. But guess what? Like, big room dance has shifted in Boston's culture. The ownership and who makes decisions in that world has changed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't make that connection before, now you're ostracized. Now you're outside, and now you have nowhere to go.
Right.
You know, and the way nightlife works in Boston, and I know in a lot of other cities, is you have your kind of mainstream, like weekly nights that are staple nights that you can do and be a part of. You have curated events that are maybe monthly, you know, quarterly. You know, they're big. They put all their marbles in and like they throw a really good party, but it's not something you can really sustain weekly.
Right.
You have your underground parties or very, very niche genre like parties, people that don't want the mainstream stuff, the downtown style.
Right.
You know, you have your Latin nights, you have this little Latin night, this little African night, this little whatever. There's people that do one of them, and that's their lane. Again, the masters, the specialists.
This is a question. This is a question I want to ask for all DJs, not even just you, but like for all DJs listening. It's like, okay, if you're quote unquote like cash cow, the one that you get booked at the most, if that gig just disappeared off your schedule today,
right?
What would you do?
Right. Yeah.
I know I'd be good. I know you'd be good. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
and that's kind of the point I'm making is like pigeonholing yourself.
Right. So
versus trying to create relationships and see.
That's how you should always. But again, that's a mindset. That's how you should always be approaching. Again, if that's what you want to do. But I think for sustainability, I want to be doing this for a very long time. You should always be looking at your schedule, looking at your bookings, and being like, okay, like if I didn't have this anymore, how would I supplement my income?
Right.
You know what I mean? And whether that's through DJing or not, that's totally fair. But again, like I'm always trying to get in with like I buy funk. I talk with the guys. I do that. I do Latin nights. I do hip hop nights. I do college nights. So again, I'm like diversify, and that's what they say with like investing. You should look at it like investments. Diversify your portfolio, because if one tanks, at least you're not fucked. Dude, oh my God, that's a bar.
DJ CammmyV.
You're proud of that one. You like that one. We're gonna clip that. That's the one online.
Diversify your portfolio. Jeez. That's a fucking bar. Who's investing out here? What's your 401k looking like?
No, but super accurate, super real, and so take that with a grain of salt, DJs, and people thinking about DJing or people who are friends with DJs. Take that with a grain of salt and think about it, reflect, and think about maybe how your career is going or what your current status is in the game, and maybe the adjustments you can make. We had a lot of good points. If you see me on streaming again, you know why. We talked about it. and I'm trying. I got to make these adjustments, bro. I'm constantly evolving. You got to constantly evolve.
About to upgrade my webcam.
You know what I mean? So might pop out. You might see me online, and but that's me just trying to evolve and adjust, because it never ends. That's art. Fashion never ends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
DJing never ends. It's from what it was when it started is completely different than what it is now.
Be ahead of the cool curve.
Be ahead of the curve, and content is king. I'm gonna say it every fucking time. So thank you so much for listening. Appreciate y'all for another episode 102. But I know the DJ sponsors hit me up. CammmyV, thank you so much for another intimate eye-to-eye conversation.
I like those.
Love it.
Late night.
Dude, Missionary is my favorite. All right, have a great night, everybody.